All right, Shalom, all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to you, Akim, across the world, pushing his word in truth and in sincerity and with charity. All right, and I was just looking at this this video that CBS News posted, and it's going into NATO and ultimately the EU. All right. In talks with Russia, and there's no breakthrough. So that's actually that's a good thing. This is something that we should be excited about, with understanding this truth and wanting this truth to come to pass. All right, which is what ultimately going to lead to the kingdom. All right. So there's never going to be any breakthrough. This is going to get worse. All right, because it's prophecy. It's prophesied for this place to fall. So I'm gonna go to the book of Revelation. Let's go to the book of Revelation 13:1. All right, because it's also said out there that Russia is a part of the EU and NATO, and that's not true. Russia is actually written up, and the Lord is actually going to use Russia to destroy America, and this is what's coming. All right, this is the true prophecy. All right, according to the scriptures. Now this is Revelation 13:1, it says, "And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his head the name of blasphemy." And this is going into what the NATO and the EU ultimately led by, what we call today as America, right? And all these other countries that are in the EU and NATO, they all go back to original amount of numbers, or countries, or families, that established America, all right? I believe I got it. Hold on, if you bear with me 1 second. Let me see if I get it real quick. I think I got it in the scriptures. Let me see if I got it in here. Let's see. Yeah. I believe I have some of the families. Okay, yeah. See, you got England, the French, the Greeks, the Spanish, Belgium, Luxembourg, and it goes into these families, which are all really vassal states. The Burgundians, the Suebi, the Suebi, the Hurali, the Visigoths, the Atamari, which are the Italians, the Ostrogoths, and that's all I have written down. But these are all the vassal states of America, and I got the which is really, and let's go. And then these are it's actually, I'll give the actual names: England, France, Greece, Spain, Belgium, Luxembourg, Denmark, Netherlands, Italy, West Germany, and they actually added more of these vassal states like Poland, and it's so on and so forth, and this makes up the beast system. All right, which if you didn't notice, it's all Edomite. It's all Edomite countries for the most part. All right. So this is a vassal state, a state with varying degrees of independence in its internal affairs, but dominated by another state in its foreign affairs, and potentially wholly subject to the dominating state. So these smaller vassal states are subject to America, right? The EU, NATO, so on and so forth. Just as Rome, ancient Rome, had vassal states, and this is what actually makes up the beast system, and this is this beast, that John the Revelator saw. Okay, Revelation 13:1, "And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns," these vassal states, "and upon his heads the names of blasphemy." All right. So America has a bunch of vassal states and they pay tribute. All right. But Russia is not a part of them. Russia is known as Gog and Magog in the scriptures. And this is who Yahweh Shem Yahushai is going to use to take down the beast system. And that's the times we're living in. And that's why you're seeing there's no breakthrough. We're in that time of prophecy. We're in that time of history that the ancient prophets saw in visions. All right. So let's go to delete that definition. Let's keep reading. Let's read it again. Revelation 13:1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea. And that's talking about the people. Because you can read that here in Revelation 17:15. Out of the people on the earth, out of all the nations, rise up into power because the Lord gave them that power. He said he was going to give them the earth. So they rose up out of the people on the earth. Revelation 17:15. Then said he to me, the waters which you saw, where the harlot sits, America, our peoples, the waters, the sea, our peoples, multitudes, nations, and tongues. See? So this is how America was prophesied for America to rise up out of the people as a nation, the dominating nation on the earth. So that makes better sense. Let's see here. We'll leave that there and we're going to read some more of this. Verse 2, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard. Let's talk about the beginning of it, of this beast system. Started with the Greeks, Alexander the Great, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and that's talking about Russia. You see? And that's his mouth as the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him power and his seat and great authority. And this is this bear here is going to be the end of this beast system. And that's what we're going to go into. All right. This is the bear. The bear is going to be the end of NATO, the EU, and America. And we're in that time of prophecy. So I'm going to play a little bit of this. Let's see if we can get out of here.
Are prevented from joining NATO. NATO backed the U.S., saying that demand is a non-starter. Despite the continued slow progress with this week's talks, NATO has left the door open to discuss other security issues like arms control and missile deployment. The U.S. and its NATO allies are hoping to de-escalate tensions after Moscow sent thousands of troops to its border with Ukraine. Russia continues to say it is not planning to invade, but will not commit to pulling back its troops, which the U.S. says makes diplomacy difficult.
So they're basically not going to pull back their troops. And this is all prophecy. Now, let me skip to something she said that I caught. And this is an American Edomite, you know, proud. A mud of all those vassal states.
NATO will never, ever happen.
Yeah,
discussion issues that
now this is what NATO says concerning their position.
Could have some discussion and most certainly the activities of Russia trying to tell NATO where the borders of NATO are will never ever happen.
All right, so both these sides, they're not gonna back down, man. So this is eventually gonna get hot. So I'm gonna go here. And listen, this is Poland. They're
Foreign
of
ministers
the European
said
Union,
Europe
the
was
EU.
closer to war than any time in the last.
That started from the beginning. Poland is a part of the EU. I think they were just added. Let me see. Poland. Got it right here. I think they were just added. If I'm not mistaken, this is Poland. Poland has been a member state of the European Union since May 1st, 2004. So, yeah, fairly new. Nevertheless, Edomites, and this all makes up this beast system. These people are a part of this beast system. All right, and the whore that sits on the beast is America, guiding the beast. God, and this is basically the Lord is the Lord's comparing the Edomites' rulership, all right, and their rise to power as a beast coming out of the seas, which were really people, all right, coming above the nations, and that was prophesied. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, and this is your blessing. It was already ordained to happen, but it was ordained for you to go down, and we're going to show you how. So this is Poland. I'm not gonna talk too much Slovakia. This is Poland, and they're part of the EU.
That the risk of war in the OSCE area is now greater than ever before in the last 30 years.
At a security meeting of 57 nations in Vienna on Thursday, Poland's foreign minister said Europe was closer to war than any time in the last 3 decades, as Russia said diplomatic efforts to defuse tensions over Ukraine were hitting a dead end. After the meeting, the U.S. ambassador to the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe said the West should prepare for a possible escalation in tensions with Moscow, adding, quote, "The drumbeat of war is sounding loud." Meanwhile, Russian snipers took part in military exercises near the Ukrainian border on Thursday, following tank drills the day prior. Russia denies planning to invade Ukraine, but says it needs guarantees from the West for its own security, including barring Ukraine from joining NATO and rolling back decades of alliance expansion in Europe, demands the U.S. has called non-starters.
All right, so this is going to escalate into eventually into war, and then that's when Yahweh Shemel Shai is going to utilize Russia, all right, to call upon to call upon these other nations, which I'm going to get. Let's just get it real quick. Better read than said. Revelation, I believe it's actually it's Ezekiel 38. Bear with me 1 second. Ezekiel 38, here it is. Ezekiel 38:1, and the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him. So we're prophesying against the Russians, because the Lord ain't gonna do nothing but use the Russians, all right, to fulfill His will. All right, so we're naming to you all the pieces of the chessboard, which Yahweh Shemel Shai is in control of, as the master chess player, and say, Thus saith the Lord, Ezekiel 38:3, and say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh. This is what the Most High said. Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. So the Lord is against Russia as well. But He is going to utilize and use them. Because what? Let's get something real quick. I don't want to make this too long. Let's go here. Blue letter. What was it? Proverbs 21. Let's see if they got it. There we go. Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever He will. So the kings on the earth right now, the planet Earth that we live on, all right, that we've seen in these videos, all right, that I previously showed, Putin, these different advisors, all right, Poland, their advisors, all right, these are all the kings and the noble of the earth, and the Lord is in control of them. Okay, so He's going to move Russia into not backing down from the NATO and EU, which is going to spark a little bit of war. All right, and that's what the scriptures that's what John said that would happen. All right, the third woe, the second woe. See, it's in the book of Revelation. All right, Ezekiel 38:2. Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Lord power, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. This is all going into talking about Russia. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. So this is the Lord arming, or putting the spirit on Russia to go back into that Cold War era spirit. All right. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. And this is when He's going to go get the other nations. Iran, And they're already working together. So Russia is supplying these other nations with different types of artillery, all right, and weapon defense. All right. And it's written here. Let's keep going. Gomer, verse 6. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Torgama of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. That's what Russia is doing. He's equipping them, getting them prepared, because they're going to help him. His prophecy. Do what? Take down this beast system. You see? In the book of Revelation 13. Revelation 13:2. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet, the end of this kingdom, were as the feet of a bear. And that's talking about Russia coming in what? Being used by Yahweh Shemel Shai to destroy this place, man. Right along with the other nations. Now, something else, these other nations are going to turn on America in the end as well. That's prophecy. Let me get let's read this first. Revelation 17. Revelation 17:15. Then said he to me, the waters which you saw where the harlot sits, America, are peoples, multitude, nations, and tongues. So America is sitting, all right, and in a dominant position compared to these other nations. Because that's why they're vassal states to America. And everybody on the planet is really subject to America in tribute, so to speak. All right. And everybody's trying to break away from that. That's why these other nations are creating their own financial systems. They're trying to break away. And the Lord going to put the spirit on Russia to break away. All right. Verse 16, and the 10 horns would, and look at this. Check this out. And the 10 horns which you saw on the beast, these will hate the harlot. So these other nations, your vassal states that you thought they were with you, they're going to turn against you. And that's why Russia was trying to or telling you they don't want, basically they want the opportunity for NATO or for Ukraine to join NATO. They want that barred, so that can't happen. Okay. This is verse 16 again. And the 10 horns which you saw on the beast, the vassal states, these will hate the harlot, make her desolate and naked, eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. How are they going to burn her with fire? Through those missiles. Let me get a scripture real quick. All ye that bend the bow. It's a prophecy. Who are all them that bend the bow? Those nations, including the EU. So, and they're all going to turn against this whole America. And it's being set up in front of our eyes, man. This is Jeremiah. Let me see if I can open it. Yeah, this is it right here. Jeremiah 50:29. Bear with me 1 second. Jeremiah 50. Jeremiah 50, this is not the one, but this is a good one. Jeremiah 50:29. Call together the archers against Babylon. It's these conglomerate of nations. And you see, the last thing we read was that the EU and NATO, they're going to be a part of it. They're going to turn against this place. So where was it? I was at Jeremiah 50:29. Call together the archers, that's these nations, against Babylon. All ye that bend the bow, all ye that have nuclear capabilities and weaponry, bend the bow. Arm those missiles. Camp against it round about. Let none thereof escape out of America. So when these missiles come, it's nothing getting out of here, man. That's why that's why we're praying and hoping and doing this work so that we have a ticket to salvation out of this place. because it's going to be turned to powder by these other nations. All right. First, right around the corner. And then right around the corner, you got what? You got the Karagma. So it's all, the Lord is culminating, is all roasting for the Lord to just, all right, fulfill his will in these last days, man. Jeremiah 50. Jeremiah 50:29 again. Call together the archers against Babylon, all ye that bend the bow, camp against it round about. Let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her work, according to all that she have done, do unto her. For she hath been proud against the Lord, against the Holy One of Israel. And that's nothing. That's the sentiment, and that's the spirit that comes right out of America. That pride. America's in the scriptures known as the most proud. All right, so this place is over with, man, and we got this war right around the corner. All right, Poland spoke on it. It's not getting any better. All right, and it's eventually going to lead to what? The destruction of America, right? And what? Ultimately, the beginning of the kingdom of righteousness, Yahweh Shai's kingdom. All right, so that's really all I had. Lord willing, that was edifying. Call all Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to you Akim across the world, pushing his word in truth and in sincerity and with charity. Shalom and Abba Ball.